Hey Sam, how's it going? Welcome back.
Good. Yeah. Thanks. Glad to be back.
Just both for the team and individually, monster seasons last year. Just how much more of a fire did that let under you heading, into this offseason now, heading into this new season here coming up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think our group needed much more motivation going into the off season. Obviously it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth going into it the way we did. And that's healthy. That's a learning experience. I think it takes a lot of teams going through experiences like that, and it's how you react, how you work to get better and put yourself in that spot again, and work towards a different outcome. So we know it's going to be another long year ahead to get back to that point, and it's the start of camp. This is the first step in that process.
A lot of new faces at camp, Stahl, Balsers, White, but the biggest one, Matthew Tkachuk. Just your first impressions of him. I know you guys have been skating for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, I think most guys have been back the last couple of weeks, like you said. I think just his presence, both off and on the ice, but most importantly now at this point off the ice, he seems comfortable. I know from going through it last year, you might seem that way, but it does take some time. So I think now we get into a little more structure on the ice. He'll start feeling that much better. But to have someone like him in the room is going to be really important for us.
Last year, obviously a big year for yourself, even though you moved around the lineup a bit, started on the first line, played in the third line, and didn't really seem to affect your game. Do you think you can continue that kind of effect this year, regardless of who you're lining up next to?
Yeah, I think so. I think you look at the talent and the different combinations we can kind of go with. I think it's provides some unique opportunities. In different matchups, and I think as the year went on, I stopped thinking about who I was with and more how I can help, how I can contribute. And I think I noticed it last year in camp, and I've noticed it again this year. Just the overall skill, the compete level of the guys, and the depth, provides that opportunity for no matter who you're with, you're going to be able to produce. And I've been enjoying that.
And just for you personally, this is your second year here. Last year you came over the summer. What's your comfort level like? Not just with the team, but making a home in South Florida, and calling this maybe your forever home.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice coming back. Less nervous coming back, more excitement. I don't think you can overstate it that how much that comfort level helps. I think I look back at, I may have thought I was comfortable. It would have probably took me 20 games or so to really feel it. So, it's having that 1 year is definitely big.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's kind of an unusual situation in that a lot of the guys from last year are back, but it's a new coach, new coaching staff for the most part. Have you developed much of a relationship with Paul to this point? And what's that process been like every team has turnover, whether it's players, coaches, no team stays the same, but how important is it to get all the heavy lifting in terms of forging relationships done before camp starts, before the season starts, just so everybody's on the same page and you get to know each other as guys too a little bit? Yeah,
it helps. I know him a little bit from years ago. Just spent a couple of days with him with Hockey Canada, and obviously playing against, and you get familiar with so many people in the league, but certainly had some chats the last couple of weeks. But I think once you get into the structure of camp, it's important to work on those relationships, and obviously the experiences you go through, the adversity you go through, helps build those. So, once you get into camp, once you start getting into some warm-up games, and then obviously the start of season, those are all, kind of things that will help build that relationship. And, you try and work out those kinks early. So down the road, when it's much more important that that relationship is going to be there.
I know the Hockey Canada experience, it was just a few days, I think. Right?
Yeah, it was my draft year. I was just up playing an exhibition game, and he was one of the coaches there, obviously.
So nothing, I'm guessing, too small a window for anything to really.
Exactly. Yeah. But just from playing against each other and, throughout the league, you kind of be able to understand certain guys and obviously talk to a lot of players. So, we're excited and thrilled to be working with him.
Sam, you talked about it a little bit with the depth that this team has, but over the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of guys come in first season with the team and make a huge impact, yourself included last year. What do you think it is about this team that I guess lends itself to new guys being able to come in here and fit in well and achieve some pretty immediate success? And is that just a good trait for the modern NHLer to be able to adjust and adapt quickly to new surroundings?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I look back at coming in a couple of weeks before last training camp, just skating out here and seeing the competitiveness, the depth. It's infectious, and it elevates everyone's games when you're competing at that level every day in practice, and pushing one another. So I thought that was very healthy, and that's probably part of the reason why you see guys come into to certain teams, certain organizations, and elevate their game. And this is an organization where we're wanting to be one of them.
Kind of staying on that topic of depth. Obviously, there's the one big change with Hubie and Tkachuk, but a lot of the other changes have been kind of on the third, fourth line type guys. Just the new guys here. What do you kind of like about them to help you guys maybe keep having that depth be a strength this year?
Yeah, for sure. It's a good mix of, having new guys come in with fresh attitudes, fresh perspectives, and then the old guys that are motivated to, build on what we have started. So, I think that's a good combination to have. And ultimately the goal is to push each other to get to where we want to be.
And then just going back to the trade, obviously you guys were President's Trophy, so good in the regular season last year. A lot of organizations might have been like, let's just run that back, see if it, another year. You guys are young. Does that, when they make a trade like that, does that kind of send a message that, like, I don't know, no complacency? Like what kind of is the message that it sends when they make a move like that?
Yeah, I think so. It's a tough part of the game and the business we're in. Especially when you move out locker room guys like that and guys that have been here so long. So, there's no easy way to go about it. With that being said, I think you had the guys coming in, the motivation coming in, to show their worth as well is an important factor to look at as well. So, we're excited to see how it turns out.
Paul's the third coach the team has had since you got here last year. I mean, how much of an adjustment is it to have these coaching changes?
I mean, obviously different circumstances. It's not easy going through. I think as I've unfortunately been through a lot of coaches in my career. It does take a learning curve. I think to be able to start training camp day one with Paul moving forward is important for us, and we can all get on the same page. And I think structure and who you have so important. And I don't think there's anyone better than who we have, and we feel that. And I'm looking forward to going out there and the next few days, especially, and seeing what he has to offer.
And then with the group looking a little bit more different than it was last year, how was having the few weeks you guys had on the ice during informals to kind of get used to each other, and especially with a guy like Matthew Tkachuk, who has gotten some glowing reviews around the league?
Yeah, it's important. I think anytime you can get down a little early and get comfortable, especially when you're new to a setting, goes a long way to hit the ground running.
Also, you guys got the shocking news during the offseason about Anthony Duclair with his Achilles injury, missing maybe a quarter to the first half of the season, which creates a little bit of shuffling on the right side of the forward groups. Talk about how much Duclair's going to be missed, along with your increased role of what you are going to do in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it's never an easy thing to see, especially something so freak like that. You know, I think it provides, you know, a lot of guys different opportunities to step up. And, you know, I think the off ice part of it, I think he's someone, you know, his personality, I'm sure a little bit, he's someone that's not going to miss a beat. You know, he's going to still be around the guys. And I think that's an important thing for him going through the start of the year, you know, especially with some of the new guys, like you guys have pointed out. So, you know, hopefully it all works out in the end and he gets back to playing soon.
Sam, if I can go back to Tkachuk real quick, Sasha said he was a guy, or a player, I should say, opposing player, that would piss you off a lot, his words. To have that extra grit this season with a player like that, considering that this team, your team, will probably be the hunted this year, considering what you guys did last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think he pisses you off because he's good. He backs it up. And you know, I haven't played against him too much from being in the East. But you know, obviously as a fan of the game, you see a lot of it. And you know, a couple of times a year experience it. So, you know, I think that's what, you know, it kind of seems like he's learned, he's backed it up. And, you know, I don't think you can go in one locker room in the league and you know, everyone's going to want him in there. So, you know, I think that's huge for us.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, guys.